Being in the third trimester can feel so overwhelming, especially because you're in the home stretch and wanting to make sure that you are doing all the right things in order to prepare for an amazing labor and delivery experience. And I feel you on that because I feel the same way. I've had the same thoughts because I'm also in my third trimester. If you're new here, I'm Naomi. I'm 37 weeks pregnant and preparing for a natural water birth. And like I said, I'm in my third trimester, so I know exactly how you feel. I've been like, am I doing all the right things? Am I preparing myself? Have I forgotten anything? So I'm going to share with you things that I have found to be the most helpful in preparing myself for birth. In the third trimester, the position of baby is so important. And so something that we can do in the third trimester to prepare ourselves for a smooth birth is helping baby as much as we can get in the proper position. And something that we can do is forward lean. And so it's really easy when we're lounging or sitting or laying down to just kind of lean back, and this encourages baby to be back to back with us where their back is in the back, so our backs are aligned. But what forward leaning does is it helps gravity work in their favor to where their back comes to the front, which is optimal position that baby needs to be in order for them to come out the smoothest. And so just making sure that throughout the day, I always remind myself, the way I like to think about it is like keeping my shoulders at least in alignment with my hips. And if not, I like to really remind myself to bring my shoulders above or in front of my hips. So that really helps me do like that forward leaning throughout the day and not just be lounging back in my chair. I do the same in bed. I do the same when I'm on the couch. And if you just want to get in some forward leaning throughout the day, like outside of your regular sitting, you could definitely do this like on the side of a couch, like get on your knees and just kind of like rest your arms on the couch and forward lean. You could do that with pillows on the side of the bed. You could do it with a birth ball. However you want to do it, whatever is most convenient for you. But you do want to make sure that just whenever you're working throughout the day, if you're sitting a lot, whenever you're laying in the bed, just reminding yourself to not just lounge back, but to really keep yourself in that position. And I know that that is kind of difficult to do. Sometimes it can be uncomfortable, especially if you're like just chilling out, you're watching a movie or snuggling and you just want to lay back and just get comfortable. I know how it feels. But in the third trimester, it's really important that we remember that so that we're just preparing ourselves the best to have a smooth delivery, because again, the position of the baby plays a huge role in how our delivery goes. The second thing is utilizing your birth ball. If you don't have one, definitely look into getting one and sit on it throughout the day. That's something that I do. I like to get on it and do exercises. So I'll do like pelvic tilts. I'll do like circles, figure eights, swaying side to side, some bouncing. And also it helps relieve a lot of pelvic pain and a lot of lower back pain. I don't know about you, but if I sit in a regular chair for too long, my hips start to get sore, my lower back starts to get sore, especially in the third trimester. So if you are looking for a way to relieve that pain, then definitely consider getting a birth ball. And if you have one, just utilizing it more. When I'm working throughout the day, I do like to use my birth ball to sit instead of a regular chair. And then whenever I'm like just doing something random, like watching a video or doing something like that requires me sitting, I like to just get on it and sit and do like, the pelvic tilts. And like I said, the other exercises that I mentioned earlier, because that really helps open up the pelvis and helps the baby get engaged in the pelvis also, which will help prepare our bodies and our babies for labor. The third thing is mental prep. And that's because birth is 90% mental. How are you feeling about your birth? Do you have any fears? Do you have any doubts? Do you have any concerns? And so in the third trimester, it's important to take mental surveys regularly to see if you have any concerns or doubts or fears that have come up, because you could have felt great all up until this point, but now in the third trimester that it's getting closer, you could have fears pop up, you could have concerns or doubts pop up, and that's completely normal. That's fine. But just make sure that you're reminding yourself to do these mental surveys so that you can catch those thoughts and get rid of them. Because having fears or doubts or concerns that are negative, those can impact the way that we perform when it comes to game time. And so we want to make sure that we're in the right mental space so that we have an amazing experience. The fourth thing is final nesting, because the last thing you want is to be going into labor and thinking, oh dang, I don't have any diapers, or oh dang, I didn't wash any clothes, or oh dang, the nursery's not ready. So you want to make sure that you have all that ready now. Ideally, I would say before 37 weeks, because 37 weeks is like technically when we're in the green zone of we could have a baby at any point. And so having everything done before that time just will give you peace of mind, knowing like, okay, if baby were to come at any point, I know everything's done. So that means laundry, having your car seat installed, bottles sterilized, pump parts sterilized, whatever it is you have to do, cleaning the top of your refrigerator if that's what you want to do. I need to clean my vents. So just things like that you want to do, make sure that they're taken care of now in the third trimester and 37 weeks or prior, so that you're not pushing it too close and stressing yourself out when it comes to making sure that final nesting is done before baby comes. The fifth thing is talking to your baby more. And you've probably been doing this already a lot throughout your pregnancy, but there's something just so much more special about it in the third trimester, because you're literally so close to the finish line and so close to finally meeting them. And when I say talking to them more, me personally, I love to talk to my baby, especially now in the third trimester that I'm preparing for birth and really right here at it could happen at any time. I love talking to her and affirming that we are a great team, because I have my part to play in her birth and she has her part to play. And so therefore we are a team. We are in this together. This is not just about them and this is not just about you. It's both of you working together to birth them. And so I love to just affirm to her and affirm to me and out loud that we are a great team, that we got this, that we're going to do this. And that's a part of how I talk to her. And outside of that, you know, reading and singing and all the things and just regular talking throughout the day. But really doing that in the third trimester helps a lot prepare you for birth and really helps deepen that connection that you have with your baby to help your birth experience. The sixth thing is going over your game plan with your spouse. And this is something that you definitely want to make sure that you do in the third trimester so that when the time comes, you both are on the same page. And this is something my husband and I actually recently did here in the third trimester, was go over our game plan again together. And I'm so glad we did, because things have changed. Some of our preferences have changed. Things that we talked about in the first and second trimester that we wanted, or the way that we saw things going, have changed now that we're in the third trimester, because I mean, it's been 9-10 months. And so we've learned a lot. We've gained a lot of knowledge already, have seen how things are done. And so some of our preferences changed, and I'm glad that we had that time that we set aside to go through our birth plan and our game plan again together, so that again, when that time comes, we're on the same page and things can go as smooth as possible. So these are all things that you can do in your third trimester to help prepare yourself for birth. And with us being in the third trimester, we're so close to meeting our sweet baby. So I wish you the best in your labor and delivery experience. And again, these things have helped me, so I hope they help you as well.